What's up, guys? Hey, I'm going stir crazy in here by myself. I miss you guys. I'm just trying to do something different to get you guys locked in here to these messages. It's Wednesday night, youth night. I'm here in the youth room, and like I said in every other message, super weird not having you guys. But what's bad is it's starting to get more and more normal, I think. But quarantine check-in. So I have been a stay-at-home dad for 8 days now, and I love work. That's what I've come to the conclusion of. I love any work, getting out of the house and having purpose and something to do. So this is my favorite time, is coming in here and recording these messages at church. I was thinking on what I wanted to encourage you guys with. And being that we are physically separated, it kind of reminded me of the calling God has placed on us to be set apart as his people, that we've been called to be set apart in society and the people we live around, that we are his holy and set apart people. So my PAX story for the set apart. So right now in quarantine, we're having to think of a lot of crazy different be creative games for Paxton to keep him really locked in and not going absolutely crazy in the house. So we do a lot of trampoline. We do a whole lot of weird stuff, making forts. I was in his crib. We flipped it upside down and used it as a cage, and I was pretending to be a panda bear the other day. Things are getting weird. But his favorite thing to do right now is we get these Legos, and we create cages out of them. So the cages are all color coordinated. So all of his blue blocks will be over here, and they create a cage. All of his red blocks over here, they create a cage, so on and so forth. So we have like 4 or 5 different cages. And then what we do is we split up his toys. So we'll split it up with color. So all the blue toys here, all the red toys here, all the yellow toys here. Or we'll do type of animal. So we'll do water animals go in the blue one, land animals go in the yellow one, birds and flying animals go in the red one, and we'll mix it up like that. Or sometimes we'll do movie characters. So all the Incredibles, they go in red. All of the Disney characters, they go in blue, so on and so forth. Or it'll just be really easy. Pax, what's your favorite ones? Put those in this kennel. Your least favorite ones, put them in that kennel. And so we'll set apart all of his toys, and it's very easy. Once Hillary comes down, Hillary sleeps in a little bit because she's got the baby all night. Once she comes down and she sees our whole living room just separated out in different things, she'll be able to right away when she gets down there, she'll be like, oh, you guys did it in land animals and sea animals again. Or, oh, you color coordinated. It's very visible, easy to see right off the bat that you guys separated it out to some extent based on something that was very visibly different, right? Leads me to this week's devotional is, what separates you from the people around you? What differences do you value? What is it about that difference? What sets you apart? What are you putting emphasis on? I think that what sets us apart is usually what we want to set us apart. We choose either whether it be the grades I get at school. I'm a straight A student, that sets me apart from everyone else. Or, hey, I'm in this friend group, or I have this many friends, that sets me apart from everyone else. Or I listen to this type of music, and that's what separates me from everyone else. Or for me, it was sports. I played football, and that separated me from everyone else. Those are the people that I hung out with. Those are the people that I identified with. But what should be setting us apart, what people should see right when they see us, is that Jesus separates us. That's what sets us apart. And that's what I want to look at today in this short little message, is that we've been called to be set apart or holy, that we've been called to live a life that sets us apart from everyone else, that it's visible, that just like Paxton's Legos, that they separate into cages, his toys, that somehow or another people would come down and see us separated, that we're still living with them and we're still loving on people. And yeah, we're going to have friends that are a little bit different than us, but to some extent we are set apart, right? So the 4 areas I want to look at tonight, there's 4 areas. The first area that I feel that we need to be set apart is physically in our time with God. That's taking ourselves out of the day-to-day and separating ourselves to spend time alone with him. Right now, guys, is the perfect time to get that started in your everyday schedule. Take time in prayer. I know you've heard it before, but be in prayer. Prayer is power. It is. It's access to God. It's the way that we can have conversation with him. It may be awkward if you haven't ever prayed before, if you don't have a normal routine, but the more and more you do it, the more and more normal it gets. It's just the way that a friendship works. When I first started here at Green Valley, it was kind of awkward trying to get to know everyone, kind of what people were about, the way that they interacted, like what they really had importance in. Now, the second I walk in here, I know I'm going to talk to them and them like this, and they have interest in here, and it's so easy. And that's the way that our prayer life is with God. The more that we do it, not only the more benefit we get out of it, but the more we know our God, the more we feel connected to our God, and the more emphasis throughout the day that it's gonna have, right? It also has a way of focusing our mind on our priorities and goals, kind of some of the stuff that we've looked at the last couple of weeks. Set apart physically in our time with God, spending time in His Word, right? That's the encouragement that God has for us in written form that we can access right now. Being in His Word also gives us purpose. It helps us align our goals with what He has us to do. Not just our career goals, our family goals, but right now our day-to-day, what is my goal? Especially maybe right now when we need to be purposeful with our goals, being in the house all day. But what is your goal for the day? That's the first area of being set apart, is physically in your time with God. The second one that I would encourage you with is that we should be separated in our lifestyle, right? The way that we live, the way that we treat people, the way that we interact with other people, the way that we obey our parents, the way that when we're playing video games online, the way that we talk, the way that when we FaceTime with a friend, the way that we use social media, all of those lifestyles, that should be something that's set apart and different. When somebody comes to my Instagram page and they look through my profile, I hope it's something different. If someone were to go to your TikTok and see the way that you're treating, the way that you're interacting with people, do they see something different? Right? At camp, we were challenged by the speaker there that if someone saw your personal Instagram account or your DMs or whatever it may be that you think is hidden, what would that speak about you? Are you living a set apart and holy life? Right? To be holy is to be set apart in such a way that people can see it from a distance. Right now, it has to be at least 6 feet that they can see it from, but hopefully it would be virtually too. Just as we're learning to do church virtually, as we're learning to continue friendships virtually, people should see us, our lifestyle should be seen evident even right now. Who could use an encouraging text or direct or DM? Right? Who in your life do you know maybe is struggling more than somebody else? It's probably those outgoing people that love being at school and being around friends. FaceTime them, shoot them a text, shoot them a DM, give them some interaction. Right? Maybe a kind word to a parent. Guys, in the midst of being a dad at home with my kids all the time, I love them more than anything, but it's hard. My son Paxton randomly hugs me and says, "Dad, I love you," as we're watching a show. It gives me the energy I need to continue going on. Or my little boy Frank, if he gives me one of those big, huge smiles, or the other night I finally heard him laugh for the first time. I was tickling him, and we finally heard him laugh for the first time. That is God's way of using these little, beautiful, set-apart kids to show me His love and give me the encouragement that I need to continue on. Be that to your parents. Be that to your siblings. Be that to somebody else in your life, right? So the first set apart, we need to set apart our time with God. The second way that we're set apart is in our lifestyle. People see it in the way that we live, the way that we interact, the way that we treat people. The third thing, set apart in community, right? We're not meant to do this alone. And I think that's what makes it so hard. Everything that we're enduring right now of being kind of stuck at home is we're meant to do life in community. And I'm hopeful and prayerful that you have family that you can be in community with. That's not a reality for everyone. But that's something that God has to be holy, that we can be set apart, but in community. We're not called to do this alone. You'll naturally start to become like those you spend and associate your time with, right? If you're associating with a certain type of person, always, you naturally start to find that you're acting like them, that you're laughing like them, that you're talking like them, that you have similar values and motives, that what's right for them starts to become what's okay and right for you. You have this way but we can live in a set-apart community that, especially in this youth group, which is what I love so much about church, is that we can come be a part of a community that of like-minded, desiring to be set apart people, right? Be set apart in community. Here's a main question. Do your friends point you to Jesus or not? Do they encourage you to get in your word or not? Do they encourage you to go to church or not? Do they somehow or another point you to Jesus? An easy, quick one right now is be involved in this YouTube group comment chat that we're going to have down below. I'm going to give you guys a question that I want us to start some discussion on. An easy way to be set apart in our community is just to be involved in the stuff we do here at the youth group. Especially now that it's so hard to even have any conversation with anyone, let's take advantage of what we have. And in this YouTube page, we're going to have, I really want to start some interaction in the comments. The final way that we can be set apart is with the consistency that we do it. Are you consistent in the way that you are set apart? Our day-to-day thought life, the way we interact with others on a day-to-day consistently. As it becomes part of who we are, we will express this idea of the fruits of the Spirit. As that becomes more consistent with our day-to-day, God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit will then begin to manifest through the way that we act. Right? Galatians 5:22-23 says, but the fruit of the Spirit, this what starts to be evident in our life as we consistently do these things, as we're consistently set apart. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Who doesn't want to live a life like that? Who doesn't want to have more peace in their life, as we talked about the other night, especially in a trying time like now? What does the Bible call us to do? Live a set-apart life. As we do that, as we seek after Jesus, that then he transforms us from the inside out, and that the fruit of the Spirit would be evident in our life. Here's the questions for you guys. The last one is the one that we're going to have conversation about in the comments, but the other two, please have conversation with your parents, or if your small group leader is having a Zoom with you guys, which my home group, we're going to be doing a Zoom on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. It's just a virtual conversation. We'll go through some of these questions. So write them down. I'll try to put them in the description below. But the first question is, which of the 4 areas that we just talked about from being set apart do you need to put the most emphasis on? Which one is it? Do you need to put emphasis on being set apart in your time with God? Do you need to be set apart in your consistency in the way that you're living your life? Do you need to be set apart in your lifestyle? Or do you need to be set apart in your community? Do you need to create and be purposeful about the people that you're surrounding yourself with? Second question is, who is someone you know that lives this out? Who's someone you know that is set apart? That when you from afar look down on their life, you're like, wow, something's different. There's something different about this person. Who would you say that is? And what is different about what they do from what you do? Third and final question is, God has called you to be set apart. What is one way during this time of being kind of at home, being consistent with your people? What's one way during that time that we can be set apart? What can you do right now applicably to show people and to live a life that is set apart? That last question, comment down below what you feel God is calling you to do to live out that set-apart life. Maybe it's, I'm going to have a consistent Bible study with myself every morning. Maybe it's, I'm going to encourage someone every day for the rest of the time that we're doing this. Or maybe I'm going to obey my parents even more than I'm comfortable with and normally do, to be an encouragement to them. What is it that God's put on your heart that you need to start acting on, that we can be more set apart for him? Guys, I love you. I can't wait till we're back in this youth room together. I'm praying for you guys continuously. I hope we get to talk in the comment section. Also, like and subscribe.